Hello friends, welcome back. War 10 as we slip further into the depths of Platinum 3, hoping to hang on for the end of the season. Today we're taking on this alliance from the Asia region. I'm not even sure what language that is, so we'll just leave it at that. Today we're taking in, of course, the trusty trio, Warlock, Void, and Namor. Not sure why I went to the character select screen there because I wasn't making any changes. So let's get right to it. So first up we have an interesting fight. This is a Thing on Tyranny. So Thing gaining no power means that he will not be throwing any specials, which means he has no natural way to remove rock stacks, which was, why they placed him on this node. However, with Warlock, Warlock has a guaranteed bleed on his heavy attack, and this Thing is stunnable, so I can basically just parry and heavy the entire fight, and presumably he will be gaining no rock stacks and thus never be able to go unstoppable. And you'll see at the start of the fight here, this person is also running suicides, which is a big help for me, because once I get the infection up, the poison from Liquid Courage, he will no longer be healing from it via willpower, and that poison damage will greatly help me in winning this fight. So you can see he's really not gaining any charges because I'm not actually attacking into him with my basic attacks. Just parry heavy. Any rock stacks that he gains via the heavy attack are immediately removed with the bleed that I'm supposedly inflicting on him, even though he's bleed immune. And that's pretty much it. So, he's also degenerating via Warlock's signature ability, and that is because he's trying to heal from willpower, but he can't, from the poison and then from the weakness debuffs. So a little bit of extra degen there. The power drain, obviously not a factor in this fight. Because he is power locked at 0. And that's pretty much it. I wasn't really sure how this fight was going to go, because Warlock's damage, especially without the use of his Special 2, isn't that great. However, the bleed is pretty good. The heavy attack has some decent damage to it. And you saw at the beginning of the fight I boosted up just in case. So pretty happy with the way that fight went, and I'll know in the future that Warlock can take that fight with pretty much ease. Alright, so now we have a rank 2 unduped Void. I'm not really sure why you would take an unduped Void to R2. That's a risky play, I think. So we're going to pop on some extra health here, because fighting Void on this node is always ranging somewhere between a crisis and a nightmare. And you'll see this this fight ends up being more on the nightmare side. So I think I talked in a previous war about trying to I lost my train of thought here. So about trying to, there it is right there. So there is a way that you can guaranteed punish Void Special 1 by dodging the first blast, dashing back in, and then dodging or blocking the second blast. However, what I didn't anticipate is that because of the long distance relationship node, that forces me to spend way too much time close to Void. And now I'm already in a position here where the weakness stacks on me have basically become unmanageable. And because Void is so aggressive on this fight, there is really no way for me to effectively drop off enough of those stacks to really up my damage and finish this fight quickly enough. So you'll see, by the end of the fight, I think I have like 15 or 20 on me, just because I just have no time to back off and remove them. Meanwhile, I have to tend with the natural intimidating presence debuffs that Void is putting on me, so that's extra degen. And if I back off, that means I'm not attacking into him, which means I'm not sending back the degen damage to him via hydrokinetic armor. So for future reference, I think I will know that when I'm baiting out Void Special 1, I need to take advantage of that time where I'm waiting for him to fire off that energy ball at the second part of his special, because that is the time that is critical for Namor and really for any other champ to purify some of those weakness debuffs here. So you see, it's not additional degen on me because it's a unique debuff, but my attack values, you can see I'm critting for 800. My basic attacks are just doing almost nothing. And, even still, I still almost come out of here with the victory, trying to land some intercepts here, a couple nice backdrafts. And I know it's really just a race against time, and it's not going to happen for me. So Take a hit there, and there we go. I mistimed the SP1, and down I go. So, yeah, lesson learned is don't try and punish Void's SP1 on a long-distance relationship node because it ends up just working against you. And Void is difficult enough on this node as it is. And Namor, really not the best counter. He works, but he's not the best. You really need somebody who can reliably shrug off those debuffs. So, all right, no mini-boss action for me. We're up on Section 2. This is a Mysterio, which is the first time I think I've ever fought a Mysterio in war, maybe. Definitely on this node. So this is the Vigor and Indomitable node. So basically we're going to try more or less the same tactic that we did with Thing, I think. I think I rely on a lot of heavy attacks. Once I get the infection up, I want to avoid letting him launch his SP1 if possible. He is power draining because this person is also running willpower. I am going to block the blasts from the special one. Looks like I was incorrect before about just doing parry heavy, but so got to wait out the reflection phase after his SP1, and now I can basically keep him under a bar of power here if I play slowly enough, because he's power draining from the willpower healing, and that means that there's going to be more time for me to attack into him. I don't have to worry about dodging or blocking another special attack. I don't have to worry about the reflection damage either. So he goes down pretty easily, I think. Warlock a good counter for just about anybody on this upper path here. All right, so next up we have a ManThing, and this is one of the craziest fights I think I've ever had in Alliance War. So ManThing this is a buffet Indomitable node. ManThing is naturally bleed immune, and he's armor break immune, so I don't get that extra damage from Warlock's SP2 available. His specials are easy enough to dodge, but the other thing is that critical hits don't do additional damage to him, so if you crit into him, it's basically not a non-crit. And you can see he's very, very tanky. I didn't go into this fight boosted. I forget what I was doing at the time when I went into these two fights on this upper path here, but I was pretty sure that I could take ManThing boosted because he's not a difficult champion to fight as long as you have somebody who's poison immune and who isn't severely punished by being armor broken. You're pretty much golden. So I was pretty confident I could take this node. However, what I didn't anticipate was just how many hits ManThing can take. So we're a minute in, and so far it's looking okay. We've got about a third of his health down. That's what you want to see a minute into the fight, because that means a third of your time is gone. But you can see how aggressively I have to play against ManThing here, and I'm terrible at dodging that whatever that axe thing or branch. I don't know what he's chucking at you with his first special there. I get tagged by that a couple times. But you see, I have to really play aggressive, land a lot of backtrapped intercepts, because he's so tanky, he can take so many hits, and the fight isn't difficult. The danger really is timing out. Now, of course, this probably wouldn't have been a problem had I properly boosted up. But again, I thought that I could get through this path on this upper section without boosting. I'd like to conserve my boosts where I can. It's coming up on the end of the season. We don't really have any shot of making it out of Platinum 3, at least above Platinum 3 anyways. There's still a pretty good chance we could fall back into 4, which would be unfortunate. But so we got less than a minute left. ManThing is almost dead. You can see I'm just laying into him, backdraft intercepting. He's cooperative, thankfully, because I don't have my armor up buff. So, if I took a combo from him, it would probably be close to lights out, if not instant lights out. So one more combo or one more SP2 should do it. And you can see this is about like 140 hits, I think. Something really high. And it's inflated a bit there from the SP2s that I'm throwing off. So even higher, 179 hits to beat that ManThing unboosted. So that was a pretty wild fight. I was proud of myself for getting that full AB. Alright, so we're going to heal up Warlock. This is a Havok on Buffet and Empowered Immunity. and something else. Oh, the increased evade and auto block, which doesn't really affect me. So this person also running suicide, so if I get the infection up in time, which I do, he's going to be taking extra bleed damage and all the poison damage, and you can see his health just melting away from the suicide masteries. Warlock, maybe not as good as Void as far as punishing suicide masteries, but you can get to that punishing phase a lot quicker with Warlock because the infection gets up much faster than Void's petrifies do. So that Havok goes down pretty easily. Alright, next up we're moving up to Boss Island. I'm going to clean up this Nick Fury here. So somebody went in, I don't know, once or twice, I don't remember what it was. Got him down into the second phase, and he's got about a quarter of his life left. I am going to use Warlock here, just because he's bleed immune. I was definitely wary of a previous war, was it last war or the one before, where it was basically like 3 hits from Nick Fury, and the bleeds just completely killed me, so... yeah, we're going to try and not let that happen here. So, bleed immunity, pretty much a plus. I probably could have revived or healed up Namor for this fight. A mutant against Nick Fury is always the preferred approach. But having failed that, I think the next best approach is to get somebody who has the necessary immunity. As long as you can intercept a couple times and push him above the tactical charge threshold where he gets his unblockable phase off, I think you should be good to go. So do some cleanup work there, that's no problem. And moving on. Alright, so I think this is my last fight for this war. This is another Sabretooth, and this is a super sloppy fight for me. I think I mistime a special or... and end up, getting pretty close to death. So we're going to play this just like we do every other fight on this node with Void anyway. Try and bait out the special one. We're going to be very, very careful about using our special attacks until he has some petrifies up on him so we don't give him too much power. However, you can see I'm already backed up close to the wall here. And if I have to back up too many times to bait out a special one, he's going to, nail me in the block with it. So I take a chance there. I push him above 2 bars of power, which I don't really want to do. And then I mistime the rock throw, take that hit there. So that's unfortunate, but, we're still definitely in the fight here still. I also get some super bad luck with the petrifies, so they're the last 2 debuffs out of the 6 that get applied. Which also kind of worked against me. So there we go. I take another SP2, all 3 hits, and now the tables have kind of turned. I've got about a fifth of my life left. He finally has a petrify up. He's got some extra degen working from my SP2, the power sting on him, and we've got to work really hard to get this fight back under control. So now he's being much more cooperative with his special attacks, and we've got Fear of the Void up, so we got a nice little damage boost. If I take essentially 1 or 2 more hits or mistime another special, it's lights out. So the fight is now kind of swung back toward in my favor. He's got a Petrify up plus Fear of the Void, so I can launch specials and remove his power if I want, and 1 more combo finishes him off. So a little bit of a rough going there. So anyway, we did go on to lose another war. I'm sure you might have expected that by now, given how the rest of the season has gone for us, if you've been watching. So I think there are 2 wars left. This is War 10. So we finished one up today, which I will be editing and recording maybe later this afternoon while I watch football. And then we've got 1 more in a couple of days. So, and then another season comes to an end. I'm glad to see it end. New defense tactics coming next season. Not excited about those. Maybe I'll do some in-depth discussion on those in a later video. So, all right, that's about it from me. Thanks for watching and have a great day.